Picture this. You're driving through New York. You pass under this massive metal gantry on the highway, and it suddenly hits you. Wait, I didn't stop to pay a toll, and I definitely do not have an easy pass. If your stomach just dropped, hey, take a deep breath. You are absolutely not alone here. Countless drivers who just aren't used to New York's system go through this exact same panic, worrying about hidden fines or missing a bill in the mail. But do not sweat it, because we've got you covered. By the end of this explainer, you're going to have a complete, super easy guide to settling that toll bill without any of the stress. Whether you're a local who, just forgot your transponder at home, or an out-of-towner taking a scenic drive through the Empire State, figuring out this cashless system is a total game changer. It's going to save you so much time and money. So let's look at exactly how to navigate it step by step. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our agenda. First, welcome to cashless tolling. Then, receiving your toll bill, followed by how to pay up. Next, we'll cover avoiding costly late fees. And finally, we'll wrap up with some frequently asked questions. All right, moving into section 1, welcome to cashless tolling. So if you haven't driven in New York in a while, you might be surprised to find that those old school physical toll booths, the ones where you'd hand a couple bucks to a cashier, they are completely gone. Poof. Nowadays, these overhead electronic gantries use high-resolution cameras and sensors to instantly capture your license plate. You just keep cruising at highway speeds and drive right on through. It's actually great because it cuts down on traffic bottlenecks and really helps reduce carbon emissions from all those idling cars. Up next is Section 2, receiving your toll bill. So, you drove under the gantry, the camera flashed, and now you're wondering, how exactly does that turn into a piece of paper in my mailbox? Well, the life cycle from the highway to your house is a pretty strict process. First, the camera snaps a photo of your license plate. Then, the system runs that image against DMV databases to figure out who actually owns the car. Once they find you, they generate a paper invoice and mail it right to whatever address the DMV has on file. And a quick heads up here, this is not instant. You're dealing with state databases and the Postal Service, so realistically, expect that bill to show up about 30 to 40 days after your trip. Now, what's really interesting about this, and what you need to look out for when you finally open that envelope, is the payment coupon right at the bottom of the official toll invoice. You'll see a specific barcode and a unique toll bill number there. You are absolutely going to need those exact details handy no matter how you end up choosing to pay. Which brings us to Section 3. How to pay up. You might be wondering what your options actually are for handing over the cash. Thankfully, you've got 5 different ways to settle this thing. You can just hop online at tollsbymailny.com and use a credit card or a bank transfer. Or you can download the official Tolls NY mobile app, which is super convenient. Prefer talking on the phone? There is an automated voice response system for that. If you're more of a cash person, you can actually walk into participating local retailers and pay in person using a MoneyGram receive code. Or, you can always go old school and mail a check to their processing center up in Albany. But honestly, when you compare the digital payment options to the mail-in ones, the difference is literally night and day. Digital platforms, like the app or the website, let you use this incredibly handy search and pay lookup tool, meaning even if your dog ate the physical bill, you just type in your license plate and instantly settle up. Mailing it in, though, that involves manual sorting, administrative checks, and of course those unpredictable delays with postal transit times. So, the crucial point is, if you do decide to go the mail route, you really need to follow the rules. You'll send the coupon to P.O. Box 15183 in Albany, use a personal check or a money order, and hear me on this, absolutely no physical cash in the envelope. I know it's tempting to just fold up a $10 bill and stick it in there, but don't do it. Make sure you write your toll bill number on the memo line, and most importantly, get it in the mail at least 5 business days early so it actually clears before your deadline. All right, let's talk about Section 4, avoiding costly late fees. Listen, leaving this bill sitting on your kitchen counter or just forgetting about it, that is a terrible idea. Here is the strict timeline the state uses to make sure they get their money. On day 1, your first bill goes out and you have 30 days to pay it with 0 late fees. Fair enough, right? Well, if you miss that window, on day 30, a second bill is issued and bam, a $5 late fee is tacked on. If you still haven't paid up by day 60, the grace period is officially over and your unpaid toll becomes a formal violation notice. And that violation notice, it comes with a whopping penalty of $50. Now, to put that into perspective, depending on the bridge or tunnel you crossed, that $50 fee can be applied to each and every unpaid toll transaction. So a simple $5 crossing, if you just ignore it for 2 months, rapidly balloons into a $55 headache. And it gets worse. If you keep ignoring the violations, things get extremely serious from a legal standpoint. Those unpaid violations get shipped off to aggressive collection agencies. If you rack up 3 or more of these in a 5-year period, the Department of Motor Vehicles will literally suspend your vehicle registration. And driving with a suspended registration in New York, that's a misdemeanor criminal offense. If a cop pulls you over, you could be looking at an arrest, hefty court fines, and they can even impound or tow your car right there on the spot. Moving on to our final segment, Section 5, Frequently Asked Questions. Let's tackle some edge cases that tend to cause the most panic. First up, what if you're just visiting and driving a rental car? Well, the authorities actually planned for this. You can easily jump online and set up what's called a temporary travel account. This is such a smart feature. It lets you link the rental car's license plate to your credit card for a short window of time. So it automatically covers your tolls while you're traveling, and you don't have to wait for the rental agency to forward you the bill later, usually with their own ridiculous administrative fees slapped on top. Here's another one. What if I moved recently, the bill went to my old address, and I literally never even saw it? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that excuse is not going to save you from the late fees. Under New York state law, you are required to update your registration address with the DMV within 10 days of moving. Since the tolling system pulls your info straight from DMV records, it is 100% on you to make sure that data is up to date. And lastly, what if I'm an out-of-state driver? Do I really have to pay this thing? The answer is a resounding yes. Out-of-state plates get billed exactly the same way. On top of that, New York has these reciprocal agreements with other states, like Massachusetts, for example. What that means is if you blow off your New York tolls, your home state has the legal authority to suspend your registration right in your own driveway. You definitely cannot outrun the cameras just by crossing the state line. Before we wrap things up today, just a quick disclaimer. The information we've covered in this explainer is accurate based on the rules as of July 24th, 2026. But, state policies, fee structures, and technologies can always change. So we always recommend verifying the most current details directly with the official New York toll authorities or over on the Tolls by Mail website. Which leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Is paper billing truly worth skipping the EasyPass line? Look, having the option to pay by mail is great, for sure, but it is without a doubt the most expensive, administratively annoying way to get around New York. Upgrading to an EasyPass transponder doesn't just get you major discounts on every single crossing, it completely eliminates the stress of hunting down invoices, mailing checks, and dodging those crazy late fees. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and hey, safe travels out there.